Hi, I'm Maristella Bertram, owner of My Space Reclaimed. I'm a certified professional organizer, and today I'd like to talk to you about 3 systems in your kitchen that will certainly save a lot of time and would make your space and your life more efficient in the kitchen. The first one is how to deal with your recipes in a way that they are organized and also that you can use them more frequently. The second system deals with the pills that we take, supplements, and the management of all those medicines in the kitchen, because they should be in the kitchen, by the way. And the third one is to mention the containers for grocery. When we go grocery shopping, we should recontainerize everything we bring to our home and to put it in the fridge so they stay organized and they stack well and you see what you have and it's just not a mess. So about the recipes, first of all, what I recommend is that you take all these recipes that you have been gathering and they're probably sitting in one shelf in your kitchen or a cabinet, and they're all disjointed. You have books, you have clippings, you have entire magazines, you have a variety of things for your recipes. So what I've done, and I highly recommend you do that, just transfer them, cut and paste them on index cards, 5 by 7 or 4 by 6, whichever size you like, and get some index card containers for those. Many times, if you like a recipe from a book, for example, what you can do is you copy the recipe, make a photocopy, and then cut the recipe and put it in your index card. You paste it or staple it or tape it, however works for you. And many times, obviously, the recipes will be larger, but I've come to realize that there are many creative ways of doing this. I even have recipes from my mother these must have been done like 25 years ago. It's her handwriting and everything, so I incorporate it into my system because I have a system that's compatible with this. And this one was a big one. I found this, I don't even remember where, but it was big. So I take both sides of the index card, I put it there, and I fold it to fit the size of the card. What I want to show you is that you just need to use a little imagination in this. You can cut the pieces and lay them on the card so they can fit there. This one I had to even fold it in a very different way, but it works. So that is minimizing all the recipe sources, let's say, and you put it in one format that it's homogeneous across the board. That's basically what you're doing. And then you use the dividers that you can get for these cards, and the boxes, and you use them to create categories on your dishes. And then you obviously can label your boxes with the categories. I have 3 boxes. My categories are salad and vegetables, side dishes, main dishes, and soups. Those are here. Now I have another box that it's special recipes like ethnic food, children food, sauces and dressings, and I have also a section here for information and tips on how to cook X, Y, or Z. Sometimes we need instructions or different things that are not actually recipes, so I have incorporated those into the system. And in this one, actually, I have extra cards and extra dividers from for when I need to include more recipes. I have the system ready and expandable. But the most important part of the system is that it helps you plan your menus and your shopping list. How? Well, let's suppose that I have to prepare menus for 7 days. Well, I will select 7 different cards from my main dishes section And from my side dish section, I will select 7 to pair with the ones I already selected as main dishes. And let's presume that I want to add soups every day or one day, whatever. I take 1 from the soup, and let's say I want to have a dessert and actually cook the dessert. Well, I grab my recipe card for that, and I have 1 meal planned here. But because the recipes come with their ingredients and the measurements, so I just use that for my grocery shopping list. Then these sit on the kitchen counter for a while until I'm ready to cook that specific dinner. But then it interplays with the system of containers, because when you come from the supermarket, if you take your time to wash and cut your produce, for example, and you transfer everything else, meats, fish, whatever, poultry, then you wash everything, you cut it, you season it, and you can store that in groups according to the amounts you actually will be using for each meal. When it's time to prepare the food, you have your job done because it's already there. It's very important to have these containers in your refrigerator, because the things you bring the groceries in is just for transportation. These are not intended to be the actual containers that you keep your things in your freezer or fridge. And I will show you a picture later on of my fridge and freezer, so you'll see how convenient this is. You see what's there. You can label the expiration date or the date was cooked, whatever it is, and then you can mix and match to prepare your meals. You have everything ready to go. So I'm going to talk about, let's put this aside. I would like to talk about your medicines now. As I had said in previous videos, and I always indicate to my clients, your medicines should be in your kitchen, not in the bathroom, because they tend to lose their power in the bathroom due to the humidity. And besides, usually medicines are taken around meals, like before meal, take it with meal or with milk, or after a meal. So it just makes sense to keep them in here. And these are things we ingest. The things we put on our body, our hair, our teeth, our skin, they go in the bathroom. But things we ingest should be in the kitchen. So I had said that when you organize your home, you will be putting everything you find that is ingestible medicine or supplements in the kitchen. When you have the totality of those things in the kitchen, then you can see what is expired or you no longer need, and you can let go of that. You probably need 2 different containers to put your medicines. In one of them, you will put the over-the-counter medicines that are used by everybody or anybody, but it's infrequent, like when you have a cold or something like that. And then I suggest that you put all your measuring cups, thermometer, and peel cutters, if you have any, in a baggie, and then you can put it with that over-the-counter group. Now, the rest of them, the ones that are prescribed, or even if they are supplements but we consume on a regular basis, we put it in another one. And by the way, these are phenomenal containers, very inexpensive, from the container store. They're called the multitask bins or multi-purpose bins, and they are sold in the office section of the container store. So, and they're not paying me to say this. I just love these containers. They can go in the freezer, they can go in your fridge, they can go in your pantry, in your office, anywhere. So you have all your medicines that are prescribed and your supplements, things we take regularly, in one other container. When it's time to work with this, you are going to grab your divided boxes or bins, whatever you have that you can divide, and make sure you divide it according to the times that person ingests medicines. In our house, it's usually morning and evening only, so I have my boxes divided in two. And these are the bricks containers from the container store. They come in different sizes, and they bring these dividers that you can apply as you need. So my boxes are divided in two for AM and PM for each member of our household. Then you need pill bags. They're very inexpensive. You can find these anywhere. Amazon has them. I usually keep them in another box I have like this, but with essential oils and this. That's the only thing I use it for. Or if you can follow this, we ask our children to, when they consume the contents of the bag, they put the empty bag in their basket, back in there. So when it's time for me to work with the medicines, I will find the empty bags there. So all I have to do is, these are for the morning, so it says my daughter's name and AM. This side says my daughter's name and PM. So I start with the morning and I put the baggies here, right? And I identified the things that go to this person, and all I have to do is prepare these bags. Okay, I'm just gonna do it simplified as a demo. Okay, so let's imagine that for the morning, these are the only things that she'll take. You put them in the baggies. You put them in the AM section. And then you will repeat that for PM for that person. When you finish that, you move on to the next person, and you start with the AM and you start with the PM. What I have found is very, very useful is always work with one person at a time, and then gather all the stuff that person takes, have it separate from the other medicines and supplements, so I don't get confused. But other than that, this process is really easy and fast. What this helps you with is consistency. If you have 3 or 4 people having supplements and medicines in your home, then it can be very confusing, especially if everyone needs to be opening bottles and deciding, oh, what do I need today? What did I take? What did I miss? Did I take my pills today? So all these things are avoided if we follow this. So then, let's suppose the PM pills, let's suppose it's just that, right? Then I'll put these baggies, PM. But of course, we have bags that have significant amount of pills and supplements. We take a lot of supplements here. But it doesn't matter. The process is exactly the same. And then it's done. If you don't have enough pills to prepare the amount for the week, what you can do is put the pills you do have and leave that group separate on your counter with a little note, post it, so that when you get the pills from the pharmacy, you know exactly that that group needs that pill. So you go ahead and complete them, put them in the basket they need to be, and then you put the pill bottle with your other prescriptions and supplements that you have. So here I have the AM and PM basket for one of my children, I would repeat with everyone else, including mine, and then I will show you later how they fit very nicely and stay very nicely in the cabinet there, along with the recipes. Actually, I will show you that in a minute. The other thing I wanted to say about this was that, okay, what I do is in the evening, I put the peels for my 3 kids on this corner of the island actually, and they know that's where they take their breakfast. So they know the peels are there, and if they have not had them, I see them there. When they leave the area, I will call them back and make sure they take them. So that helps with accountability and consistency in taking the medicines. No one will have to be just opening bottles, and it doesn't need to be confusing. There should not be bottles of pills open or closed everywhere. None of that. And you can really see and monitor what you will need to reorder to the pharmacy soon, or call your doctor, because they are all in one place. And I did not mention this is super important. I put on the lid, I write the initial of the person that takes this medicine, and if it's 1 a.m. or 2 p.m., things like that. This one says 1 p.m., for example. And that's how I make the process much easier for me. I'm the one who manages the pills here because it's so fast. And then if they need something at night, they will go to the PM section of their basket and will grab what they need and put the empty one here. Very, very straightforward, very easy.
So this is how my fridge and freezer look with the use of containers. Notice on the left side that containers preserve the food, does not allow the dehydration of the products. We don't have boxes open or bags poorly stacked against each other. The containers stack very well. Also, by removing outer packaging of the products, we save space. And when we go grocery shopping, we bring home the stuff, then we wash and cut and prepare as much as we can the produce. And if there's any meat, we don't have meat at home, but if that's your case, if you cut and prepare your meat, wash everything, season it, and individually pack it for the different recipes that you're going to prepare, then you have your job much more advanced during the weekday. Let's take a look now at the pantry. Containers are very important here. We should place in pantry appropriate containers everything that won't be consumed completely upon opening the package. The containers in my pantry are the XOX kind, but there are many systems that are good for pantry to choose from. I choose to label them with my label ones labels because these stay in place even if dishwashed or microwaved, and they make it really easy to relabel the contents in case we need to do that. These containers in the pantry are not subject to much change, as we will have the right number and sizes for what we usually consume, but some might change, and it's helpful to have a system that allows some flexibility. So what we place in these containers are things like cereal, flour, sugar, rice, grains, dry beans, pasta, dry fruit, nuts, chips, crackers, cookies, things like that. The other system that pantries need is baskets, bins, or a certain type of containers that will allow us to cluster products of the same type. This is for the products that are not transferred, but we can possibly remove a box or outer carton or something like that, and then have them together, occupying less space and being more accessible. Such is the case of individually packed snacks like granola, protein bars, things like that. I have the multi-purpose containers I showed before with the medicines. This is what I use for that purpose in my pantry. And here is my cabinet that has a dedicated shelf for my recipe boxes that live along my recipe books and binders. The recipe boxes allow me to use the recipes more often and have a variety of menus by mixing and matching the different dishes and being more accessible, so I use them more often. All those recipes from the books or binders that I have liked or would like to try, I have copied them by photocopying the book page and cutting the recipe and pasting it on index cards. I might have kept the books for various reasons, but they are organized and I am using the recipes I like the most thanks to my index card system. On the lower shelf, you can see how the peel boxes are very conveniently located and accessible. To the left side, you can see the peel boxes because my husband and I prefer those for our peels instead of the bags. But the process of preparing the medications and supplements is exactly the same. The point is that the peels are ready, pre-packed for whomever needs them when they need them, and there is no confusion of forgetting to take them or opening bottles or not knowing when or if we have taken the medicine. The right side box, as you see there, has all my essential oils and the new peel bags for when I need to replace the ones in use. The morning peels, I usually place them next to where we take breakfast, so everybody knows to take that in the morning. And in the evening, if anybody needs some dose of something, they know exactly where to go get them.
If you have any questions, please submit a comment, text me, email me. All that information is on the website, myspacereclaim.com. Visit my website and you can sign up for the blog as well. So that's all I have for now. Let's stay in touch.